since he wore purple all the time, could we legally call him the Grapist?
I was going with the Mephisto theories. I was like,
Why are you running? I just flew all the way out here. I've been looking for you for years, and you're just gonna run from me?
That's just the entirety of his miniseries looking for his shoes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another fine episode of the Happy 616th Marvel Family Podcast. It's been a while, hasn't it? Everybody, cheer, do something celebratory. Yeah, celebrating for all three of our fans.
Yeah.
You guys, we appreciate you guys. We're glad that you listen to us religiously.
Love and support means the most to us.
oh, please, touch grass.
Yeah, do that.
Yes, go outside, touch grass.
Do it right now, and then come back and listen to the rest of this. Alrighty, so we have been away for a while. If you have been keeping up with us, because we need breaks. It's very important to pace yourself. Today, we are going to start off somewhat simple, I suppose, and just catching up in what happened last year at the time of this recording in 2023 to some predictions in 2024 of anything basically Marvel. So we'll talk about a bit of the MCU, we'll talk about what's happening at your local comic book shop, and we may even just address a few projects of our own by yours truly, Audio Anomaly, and see if we can pep you guys up for that. Maybe even like announce a few projects that we're currently working on. Who knows?
Fortnite audio drama, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. You never know.
Gotta stick around.
If Family Guy's getting in on it, like, let's
We
get
gotta
the
get
audio
into
production
where's
in.
the audio anomaly guy?
Set up the GoFundMe. Start investing right now.
There's
Set
my
up the
audio
GoFundMe.
blaster in Fortnite.
Audio only Fortnite.
Yep.
He says set up the GoFundMe. In other words, I'm broke. Please give me money.
It's a translation, yeah.
Or, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could be like Keanu Reeves, where he sets up a GoFundMe for a comic book, even though I'm pretty sure he's got money somewhere. You just gotta look in the scout. You weren't looking hard enough.
Keanu. Lazy Keanu.
Yeah, it was for his own comic book called Berserker, I think, to where he's like an immortal, and it's basically, from what I understand, John Wick, but he's immortal and he just kills people. Yeah,
That's
just
so
another John
loud.
Wick. John Wick with superpowers.
Is it John Wick,
Yeah,
but like with gun? Is it John Wick with guns still,
John
or
Wick
is it
with
John Wick
guns.
with like?
Yeah,
That's
John Wick, but he has guns
He's
this
got
time.
guns.
Yeah. You know,
Didn't have
actually,
it before.
I think that'd actually be a pretty interesting John Wick movie, to where he's not allowed to like touch a gun for like some reason, so he has to use like mundane items to like
He has
kill
to use
people.
like a sword,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hammer,
Yeah.
My
a knife.
question is,
The pencil.
how are we gonna make that possible?
No, the
Army of
pencil.
Darkness
Make
goes
a
back
pen.
in time.
Yeah, we'll
makes
get the
a pen-
explanation of the pencil.
No. What he'll do is he'll buy a bunch of pencils and he'll get a slingshot and he just slingshots pencils the whole movie. That would be great.
That would be great.
That's
And have
my
him face
first
off.
Marvel prediction that he is possibly going to play the Beyonder. That's my prediction. Actually,
Ooh.
for Marvel Secret Wars.
Hey.
That would be
Interesting. Alrighty. So, without further ado, let's get. Oh, actually, so I guess with further ado, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe and share with all your fucking friends, because apparently,
yeah, you know the drill.
yeah, I have to tell this to people. If you do enjoy listening to us, please share it, because
We have to promote ourselves.
yes, I hate.
Because we have no
virus.
money.
We gotta spread the virus. Keep it going.
You gotta spread the virus. The
The
whole
new
9 to 5, you know how it is. Oh, also, it's come to my attention that some listeners may probably not understand that when you have a whole bunch of adults cursing, it's probably not for children. So a little disclaimer that's a bit late.
Yeah,
This is
an
40 episodes
18
later,
plus
it's okay.
live, so
Yeah,
this
this
is
is-
an 18 plus recording. So
God
if you're
damn
not
it.
18,
Yeah. We're not Twitch here. We don't try to get away with adult content for 13-year-olds. So if you're listening to this and you're under the age of 13, please turn it off. Do not
Or
say
listen at
or
your own
copy
risk.
anything that we say, because I don't want to go to court.
Too late.
Yeah,
I
God
got
damn it.
you already.
Yeah, we got a very good lawyer on the line.
Twitter is already ablaze.
Me and the boys go into court.
We're like, we go into court and they're like, you're getting life without parole, and I'm like, how? We got your gamer chats.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got
what
your
would you like to
Discord
know?
chats.
I will say any information to reduce my prison time.
Oh, great. No, now we know who's going to be the rat.
Oh no.
I don't care. I'll do it. I have no shame.
Rat.
Yeah.
Okay. So, fair warning, not for kids.
Where's the
So,
cheats?
yeah, get the fuck off of the podcast if you're under 18. Go away. Fuck you. Get the hookers and blow right now. Get them right now.
Yeah, now you can get them because they're all gone.
Go outside, touch grass, go get some bitches.
Yeah, fornicate with wenches and silver and gold. Anyway, now, without further ado, we are going to get into a small list here of the movies that are going to be, movies and projects that are going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe of this year. Actually, you know what? I think I might want to do last year, just so we can do a little recap. And also, as a little bonus, we're going to go over the financial box office of how much these movies made.
Great.
'Cause I've been keeping up with my homework, and oh boy, am I excited to talk about how things are going over at Disney. So
boy.
with last year starting off phase 5 actually, we had Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Following was the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Following that was the Marvels that came out in November. Can't wait to talk about that. I expect all of you boys to have seen it and liked it, obviously.
I have actually
Oh,
seen it.
yeah.
And yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I will not
Ooh.
be kind.
Ooh, I can't wait to talk about it. After that, we actually recently, at the time of this recording, about 10 days ago, received the show Echo, which got a complete season release, just like how they do on Netflix, where they release all of the episodes.
Which
We'll talk
was
about that in a
fitting.
minute. The
Good
next
to do with
project is going to be, as I understand, Deadpool 3, starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman as
Yay.
Wolverine. My opinion, Disney's last hope for Marvel. Right after that, it should be Agatha Darkhold Diaries. I believe this is like the 4th time they changed the
They've
title.
changed it a lot. Yeah, they're going for
Yeah.
And,
Change it so
number.
many times. Like just pick.
And as well,
We'll get
Sony
into
is,
it.
Doing their Spider-Man universes.
Don't-
That year.
Oh, hold your tongue, sir. We're going to be getting to that in just a minute. Right after that, we're going to have our neighborhood Spider-Man, formerly known as Spider-Man Freshman Year, which I believe is going to be a TV show on Disney. And then last project I believe should be for this year is the Eyes of Wakanda series, which is actually fairly new to me. I just learned about this like right now. On the side of Sony, since they are technically part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just in their own different universes, pretty soon next month we'll be getting Madam
let's get
Web
it.
on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Oh boy, which was actually.
Yay.
This was actually originally scheduled to come after Kraven the Hunter, but we'll get into that in just a minute. So, in
Honestly, the
around,
better move.
around, I believe August, maybe October, is going to be Kraven the Hunter, which is going to be brought to you by Sony Pictures. And then after that, I think Venom 3 is going to be coming out pretty shortly after that.
Speaking of Venom 3, did you see the new poster that they posted for it?
No, and I don't care. But
You need to you need to look it up because they're actually hitting their target audience this time. Wink, wink.
Alrighty, here, go ahead and here, bring up the picture and put it in the chat, and I'll take a look at it after I read off the rest of the list.
Hold
so,
on, let me get it.
So originally, I believe in March, we were supposed to be getting Beyond the Spider-Verse, which I think has now been pushed because it's saying right now it doesn't have a official release date, but I believe sometime this year it should be coming out.
So,
Oh, it got pushed back to next year?
Yeah, probably,
Wow.
yeah, because of the strikes.
Oof, that doesn't sound good.
It's
Alrighty.
pretty natural with the strikes and all that.
Yeah,
but
and those
yeah.
poor animators, man. Freaking to the phone.
No,
And
my
they're
bad.
stretched like massively in the second
Yeah.
one. So
The poster, it was actually a fake. Never mind.
It's a fake!
False.
It's a fake!
You're fired. Get out of my building.
You're fired! Alrighty. So, what do you guys want to talk about first? You want to talk about Sony movies, or you want to talk about MCU movies?
What about the
I'd
what
say
about the
MC
comics? Though?
We'll get into that in a bit, 'cause I
Um,
have like a long list for like comic books that are going to be coming out this year
I'd say the
alone.
MCU first, just because we got to address the elephant in the room. What the MCU has been this in 2023.
Oh, we got one vote for MCU. What do you boys
Get it.
want to do?
it's part MCU on that one. I thoroughly enjoyed Echo to the point where I watched it like twice.
Oh, really?
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So
Well, thank
with so which movie do you guys want to talk about first, really quick? Because if we're talking about movies that are in 2023, I have the list of the box office, but we also have a list of movies that will yet to come. So which one do you guys want to talk about first? Do you want to go right into the beginning, or just pick a movie?
Well, I think
Just-
we already like talked about Guardians and Ant-Man like
Yeah.
last year when you're doing the end of year thing.
Yeah.
We kind of did.
So, Yeah,
So
I'd say like the Marvels probably.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Actually, you know what? Here, I'll start it off with the box office list. So, were you guys excited to see these movies that came out last year?
I'd say so.
Only one I was excited for really was Guardians 3. The other two, I was kind of like, we'll see what happens.
Okay. What about you,
I'd
Christopher?
say.
Oh, yeah. That I had fair hopes for Ant-Man, and I was of course excited for Guardians, and Marvels was sort of, I don't know, kind of there, I guess.
Kind of there. Okay, Victor, what you were saying?
I was really excited for Ant-Man 3, as well as tentatively so on like the dynamic between the characters for the Marvels mainly.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one who's actually not as excited for Guardians Volume 3 because like
Oh,
the
wow.
holiday special just felt very lazy, and it felt like Gunn was just putting his last fuel into this before leaving for DC. Like,
Yeah.
I was not as excited for that one as the film ended up.
Okay.
To me,
Interesting.
Ant-Man 3, I really wanted to like it because I did genuinely like Ant-Man, the first one, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. I genuinely liked both of those two movies.
Yeah.
But then this one, I was really excited, but then clips started coming out of the CGI,
Ooh.
and I was like, oh god, it looks like Shark Boy and Lava Girl had a kid with something like this. It was so
Yeah.
bad.
That I kept seeing
And
that
then of course
comparison a
we
lot.
had the whole. And then of course we had the whole thing that happened months later with Jonathan Irons. I mean, Jeff.
Jonathan
Did I
Majors.
say that right?
Jonathan.
I think you
Why
just
did I say
mentioned
Jonathan
two,
Majors?
like, major
Sorry.
actors.
Jonathan, I'm sorry, I meant Jonathan Majors. I don't know why that came out of the name, but
Like,
yeah,
Jeremy Irons just like merged
Yeah,
with him into one
we had the
person.
whole. So we had like the whole thing with Jonathan Majors that came out months later, and then I was just like, well, that movie was pretty much a bust. So that was a forgettable experience.
The trial more coincided with the Loki season 2 than
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Ant-Man
Right.
3.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Loki season 2 was pretty good though.
Yeah, that was
Really
amazing.
good. It was amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was looking at the best project they released last year.
Like,
Except
I agree. I think
Echo,
that was probably-
and like
that was
Loki
probably the best one.
And What If, like a lot of amazing projects back to back there.
Yeah.
But at that
yeah,
point in
But
the
it was
year,
also really good
the
too.
Marvels as well. Like, yeah, it was awesome.
yeah.
Alrighty. So I myself was a little bit excited for Ant-Man and Wasp. I was a little hesitant about it, which I feel like that was the right call. But the only major thing that I was really excited for was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I want to say What If, but then I kind of just gave up on What If. So with that in mind, let's look at their box office and their budgets as well. So,
Oh,
according to the numbers.com, we have Ant-Man at the Wasp, Quantumania at $200 million, which I believe is inaccurate because I think it was closer to like maybe like 250. I could be wrong, but this is what the website
that's-
says. Now,
that's their
I
budget,
think it's
right?
outdated when it came to like some of these, but yeah.
Is that what it says their budget is?
Yes, so I'm going up with budget first, and then I'm going to go to the box office.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, these movies, although they do have a budget, you might want to take it with a grain of salt because sometimes movie companies do not like to reveal the entire receipt because sometimes there are
That's
accidents.
also why it mainly was revealed towards the end of the year, especially with a lot of the stuff that was going down.
So
this
for
year.
those of you listening who don't know how movie budgets work, if you go on Wikipedia or look up what the budget is said to be for a film, basically take that and add that basically double it, because what the movie studios will do, they'll spend that same money amount that they spent making the movie on marketing, advertising, and distributing merchandise for the movie as well.
Funny, I was just about to say that. I will say, however, when it comes to advertising, the generous amount usually is probably about $100 million when you have a $200 million budget, because Disney likes to advertise. They like to spend money. However, that may be a bad move. So keep in mind, a generous amount of advertisement will be at the least $100 million. So keep that number in mind as you add the budget. So with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, we have a $200 million budget. With Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we have a $250 million budget. And with the Marvels, it says here, this one's pretty specific, $274,800,000. Sorry, I had my brain stopped working for a minute. Now, keep those in mind. Like I mentioned before, a generous amount of advertising is going to be at least $100 million. So, with that in mind, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania made a total of $463 million. So, boys, in math, is that good or is that bad?
That was how much I spent.
Basically,
that was all me, man.
Basically, they did make their money back. They did not make enough to make a profit.
That's right. Now, if you guys are
a major one anyway, but yeah.
That's right. Now, if you guys are in business school, you should know whenever it comes to, for some reason, Disney doesn't seem to realize this, but you need to double the amount of your budget to make at least a profit. So, this is more or less around making your money back. So, no, this is not this was considered a flop. Now, with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, $250 million, plus advertising, it made a box office return in the form of $845 million. Boys, is that good or bad?
That's good. That's a good one, actually.
Very good. And the last one, the Marvels, again, being at $274 million, made a return, or made the box office of, drumroll please, editor, $200 million. More specifically, according to numbers.com, well, actually, I'll go to the box office mojo because that one's a bit more reliable. It made a specific number, worldwide gross of $200,000,006 and $58,000 and $984. So
lost over $100 million in profit making a movie.
Yeah, that's the opposite of good.
That, to the people listening, that's the kind of stuff that gets you fired in the movie business. That makes you lose your job.
Apparently, this got 7,000 jobs fired and terminated. And according
rightfully
to today,
so.
I learned that... what?
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so, but apparently all the rest of that money went to... But apparently, getting rid of all those jobs just doubled Bob Iger's salary, who was making around like $15 million a year. Yep.
Like, the dude was mainly insulting the people who were getting fired, which is in poor taste, and again, it's a real shame, mostly, not really a good...
It really is a big shame. Now, as you might imagine, losing a lot of money like this, at first, it may not seem like there was like a major loss in money. But if you were following the numbers for the past couple of years, especially up to 2021, there was a significant loss in money in the movies that were coming out for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can list off the rest right here, but I recommend you go and do your own research and you'll see the numbers for yourselves. That being said, this has indefinitely started to affect the schedule of the movies that will be coming out in the future. Apparently, there was going to be a lot more projects coming out in theaters, such as the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, Blade, and Captain America: Brave New World.
The Fantastic Four was always for the next phase 6.
Oh, of course. Of course. However,
that one wasn't for this year. It was for the next year always. But yeah. It's just like...
It's still
little
slated
later than before.
It still says that it's slated for 2025. However, this has pushed back the scheduling a tad bit, as considering that they have
different, and it was more because of the strikes that delayed like people actually working on these movies than like box office returns or anything like that.
Well, yes, that's part of it, but also with a significant amount of money being lost, a lot of the projects have been pushed back as of right now, especially with Captain America: Brave New World, from what I believe is now being completely reshot. It was finished, but now they're reshooting the entire movie and pushing back the date even more.
Wonder Man, I think, is completely like shelved currently in terms of its progress right now.
Oh, I heard it was binned. Like they threw it away. like we're not gonna mess with Wonder Man right now.
Yeah. I think that's the current plan. Vision is not going anywhere so far.
They were gonna have a thing called Vision Quest, but that's kind of shelved too. The Thunderbolts, they're still working on it, but I think that's been shelved. Blade definitely has been shelved at the moment because Marshall Ali reported that he did not like the script. Yeah, he was not happy with the script. So they're gonna have to start workshopping that a little bit more. So the only confirmed thing right now that's going to be coming out for the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be Deadpool 3, which I predict is going to do very well because Ryan Reynolds has already won the hearts of everybody.
I think in general charisma, but also because the problem is though that he had to do less improv when it comes to that script.
I was gonna mention that.
So
that's the
I'm
thing
still slightly nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous about it too because although I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds can work his way through a lot of stuff and sneak in a lot of stuff, it does seem to me that Disney's going to be put him on a little bit more of a leash than this time. So I am a little bit skeptical on
it's not
how
about Disney. It's just that you can't improv during a writerless script. Like you can't.
I'm also skeptical of it too because even though I am excited because it's the third Deadpool movie and obviously we're gonna get Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine, which is great. The thing that worries me, and I've been hearing this a lot recently with some people that I follow who talk about like movie news and like comic book news and things like that. Apparently behind the scenes, once the strikes were over, there was supposedly, I don't know if it's confirmed, but it's supposedly there was a lot of reshoots that Disney was trying to do for Deadpool 3, because it's involving the multiverse idea for the story. But Ryan Reynolds basically told Disney, no, I'm doing my movie my way, you're not changing anything. And some of the changes that I heard that Disney thought about implementing for this movie, I'm kind of glad that Ryan Reynolds did shoot down, but it does concern me how much of it could he shoot down and how much of it has to stay because technically he's under contract. But...
I mean, I definitely feel that like the reshoots are needed just on the basic fact that you need that classic Deadpool improv. If that's not there, it's not really having the same feel as the other movies in terms of that improvisation working its way into the script. So I feel it is necessary whether it is controlled or not. And Kevin Feige had already confirmed in the movie it started that they were lax on the control when it comes to the film's rating, as well as like how the film would proceed.
Right. Because it is going to be rated R. It's which
a ton of productions are like Blade. Once it eventually does come out, is going to be R-rated.
Yeah.
I was scared about that. I honestly thought they were going to make that PG-13.
When they announced that they were going to do another Blade movie and that it was they were actually going to make it rated R, immediately my mind was, oh, so we're getting Wesley Snipes back, right? And they go, no, we're casting a new guy. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you already have like 3 other rated R Blade movies that came out in the early 2000s. Why don't you just bring back Wesley Snipes at that point? Like, you just might as well.
He was probably in prison. He was probably in prison still for tax evasion.
Oh, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's also a lot older now. Like, you know,
yeah.
you need a younger Blade.
True.
Yeah,
I mean,
Blade ages slowly. That's going to look a little weird with a very old Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, exactly.
Disney can afford the CGI. Just put a couple dots in his face. They can afford this.
Just do
the de-aging process on him.
Terminator movies are doing of just like, you know.
Just do that. Do the
like,
de-aging
I'm immortal,
process.
but I'm also, you know, clearly aging right before your eyes here.
It's like what they did with the fucking Indiana Jones 5, to where like in the beginning they de-age his. Oh boy, we'll talk about that one day. They de-aged his face, and they had Harrison Ford play in his in the same role, but like throughout like the flashback or like the opening of the movie, like his voice doesn't change. It's still the old crackly Harrison Ford voice, and he's like, "Come on, I gotta go. We're going on an adventure."
The actor that they had play the young Harrison Ford in Age of Adeline for that, so like that at least was slightly better.
Like, I'll say this.
It's not like you can like scour the globe for young Wesley Snipes every day. Like
I know. It's like with the whole Indiana Jones thing. Like I thought it was cool that they did the de-aging thing. I was like, oh, that's a nice touch.
You can't do that for every movie and every
Yeah, we can't do it for every movie.
Like an entire movie, where the main
yeah.
And Blade, who's going to be in a long-standing amount of these movies in the future.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Right.
Really add up pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
They made the right choice. Like,
well, for the most part, I think the right choice would have not to make another Indiana Jones movie to where Harrison Ford has to have a walker. But that's just
that was mostly Harrison Ford's deal anyway.
Yeah, it's literally like trying to make another Nightmare on Elm Street movie with Robert Englund. Like, don't get me wrong, I think I'll enjoy it, but Robert Englund's in a wheelchair at this point. Like, let the man rest, let him breathe. Like, let him retire.
Semi-retired. He's still doing voice acting and still in Stranger Things and stuff.
I mean, you could do voice acting until you die, basically. That's like I feel like that's probably one of the more easier acting jobs for actors that like they get too old to be on screen. But as long as your voice is still good, you can definitely do voice acting.
That is true. Now, since we talk about the movies that came out last year, and we talk about the confirmed movie that will be coming out this year, I forgot to mention that a few shows have also come out as well, coming in the form of Marvel's What If Season 2 and Loki Season 2, and recently Echo. Now, what did you guys think of these shows? First of all, I'll say, because I am not in the know, because I skipped What If Season 2. I was not really excited. I watched a few episodes of Loki Season 2, and I gave up, and I did not watch Echo. So what did you guys think of it? The guys who did see the rest of the shows.
I did see them all. Yeah.
So I saw bits and pieces of What If. I thought it was pretty okay. I wouldn't say it was as good as the last season, but I still genuinely enjoyed it. Loki Season 2 I thought was really good. I thought that it definitely was a good culmination or like a good send-off for the Loki character, or assuming that's what'll happen for Tom Hiddleston and Loki and how whatever Marvel decides to do with his character. Echo, I haven't seen much of it, but I've heard bits and pieces, and I've kind of heard mixed feelings about it. Some people like it, some people don't. So I can't really say much on Echo.
Okay.
And that's the biggest twist of this podcast, really.
Man, yeah. Yeah, I gotta say that for me, I feel like What If Season 2 was actually better overall, but I will say that the best episode still is the Doctor Strange episode from Season 1. That was amazing. Loki, I would say that, I gotta tell you, it's perfect, you know, just like the best, like, probably like one of the best series that Marvel has made as far as Disney goes, not including, you know, Netflix, that's, you know, it's its own thing. Now it's part of the canon, which is great, but the best Disney Plus Marvel series, I'd say, is Loki. Season 2 was amazing, and I feel like for me, Echo had its ups and downs, so I liked it overall. I feel like there's some things that I feel like could have been stronger, but overall, though, I feel like it was pretty good.
Okay. Victor, what did you think?
I had watched What If Season 2, disappointed at Season 1, really,
Exactly.
when it came to, like, so much of it was just abrupt ending after abrupt ending that really did not close out any of its narratives. Just a cheesy montage for the end.
So you'll see this again later, maybe.
Yeah,
You know, yeah,
it's
that really
plots, which it's just so abrupt and haphazard. It just feels put together by Christopher Nolan. Like it's just pathetic, really.
You know, that genuinely bothered me about the first season. Not to say that I'm comparing it to season 2, but it was two major things. One, they always had abrupt endings, and two, it didn't feel like that they were actually trying to risk anything. Because if you notice, they never, from what I remember, they never incorporated characters that haven't been introduced already in the MCU. So like, there's no Moon Knight.
That's a good point.
The whole point was that this was MCU divergence, not really like, you know, comic divergence or anything like that. Because you could read the comic what ifs for that.
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying that, like, because of that, like, you're limiting yourself and the stories that you're telling that are not considered canon. So I understand, like, they're using characters
they did
that
not involve anyone from the TV shows, mostly because, you know, that zombie ep would be over instantly if, you know, Quake or anybody from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were included.
I'm still surprised they even did a zombie outbreak episode, because when that happened, I was like, wait, we're really going this far? Okay, that's
they still played it safe. They were still
it did not work as a what if, but anyway,
I agree.
in terms
they did play it safe, but I just wasn't expecting it. But I was like, wow, okay, I didn't think you had the guts to actually try that. Okay, they went for it.
They somewhat went for it, because they didn't go full horror. Because like in the beginning, they made it like funny, and then they decided to make it like more dark in like the end.
Yeah,
the Doctor Strange.
But, season 2, however.
I thought the Doctor Strange episode could have been great for like its own movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think stretching it out would have probably hurt it somewhat.
Yeah, it was like perfect for the length it was.
I agree, because you get the point. Yeah, you get the point of like the story of like the direction that he's going in.
If you stretch it out, it would just feel like the character's too whiny at that point. Like, you know,
right?
It's gonna like take a chill pill, Strange. Like, come on.
Jesus, there are other women that you can hook up with.
Like
it doesn't have to be
your
one
universe
girl.
is just way too big in like a movie version that, you know, you'd start to know the ladies around him and then just go like, what the hell, Strange? I'm kidding.
Hi, you're Doctor Strange, right? No, go away.
Trying to destroy the world for Christine. Anyway. But yeah, season 2, however, this improved things a lot in terms of the narrative. Like, you had a beginning, middle, and end for each story. You feel attached to each character in an interesting way, and it feels like we're stretching things at least a little more into obscure stretches of the MCU. You know, already with the Nebula episode, you know, you got a lot of D-listers as well as the classic Avengers. That one was the greatest episode of the season, easily.
Oh, that was so cool,
That one was actually. I was really interested in that episode because I actually forget that when we think of the MCU, we think of, you know, the main characters like Tony, Steve, Thor, but then we always forget, before these guys showed up in New York during the to stop Thanos from invading, there was other heroes decades prior that could have been Avengers as well. So it was actually kind of interesting to see like the whole, this is what could have been had we taken a different turn. Like, that's kind of the spirit that I look for in What If.
yeah, as we went on, like we continued telling those narratives. It didn't really like stop of like, you know, oh well, the ending will be for next time. Like
yeah.
you know,
Also,
they all were.
I gotta ask
told,
you.
and they even
I gotta ask
told, like,
you, what did
original
you think
stories
of
as
like
well,
the? What did you think of, like the Shakespeare episode? I thought that one was pretty funny, to be honest.
Marvel
Oh, did they-
1602 was
Did
really.
they do six? Did they
it
do
was fun and
1602?
aesthetic. Yeah, they did do that.
Yeah, it was.
It was
That one
fun
was
and
great.
aesthetic. It was very standard and terrible in its story, though.
Yeah,
I thought it
did
was
love
fun.
that.
I thought it was
It's
hilarious.
Legacy, yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny just because of the way that they were obviously having a blast with trying to write the dialogue, and you could just tell.
Yeah, they had a lot of
It's
enjoyment.
It's true.
It's
The
that
only-
cliche
the real
Shakespeare
crime,
style. I thought that was
though,
funny.
The real crime was that it took this long to get the best Captain Britain outfit of the series, and she spent like.
Yes, yes.
And like Agent Carter, like spent most of the damn season, well, the damn series actually, in this Rule 64 Winter Soldier cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was mainly in that one, in both like you know her earlier ep that season, and also in the finale of the previous season. It's like
One episode that got
now
me the
you've put her in the best outfit. Like, come on, people.
the best outfit that I really liked for Captain Carter is when they did basically her version of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the movie, but it was with her as Cap.
Yeah,
And just
that's
see
the
how
outfit I did
she
like.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. What caught me off, what really I liked about that episode was like to actually see her have her own version of the stealth suit. I was like, huh. So my favorite Marvel costume, regardless of which Captain America wears it, still looks good. Okay, good to know.
I mean, it's an okay costume, but it's just kind of bland that they don't come up with their own version truly. Like, and then like
Yeah.
the one in 1602, that one's truly distinctive and amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like because
it's a crime they didn't get that one earlier.
because I feel like even though this is Marvel's What If, I feel like because it takes place in the MCU or like the multiverse of the MCU, I feel like there's certain like God, how do I say it? Like certain rules, certain like okay, if we this has got to stick like that or something. Like I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
I don't know if they have to like pick the specific stealth suit for that, but yeah, they somewhat have to stick in some respects, and yeah, they
Yeah.
do expand it a bit. There's more Phase 4 in here, a bit more with Black Widow, because when they say, "Oh yeah, we're involving Phase 4 into this season," you just mean Black Widow, right? And like
Yeah.
that's literally it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just involving the widows in the room, and then you're calling it a day.
Good enough.
Yeah, it was a fun season, relatively. I'm glad for the improvements. I hope they stick to it the next season.
Yeah, hopefully the
Loki-
that's good.
Loki as well, was a really cool development. A lot more, fun spectacle, a lot of magic, a lot more chaos. Because Loki feels constricted by the TVA a lot of the time in season 1. Here, he let himself out full blast, and I loved that. Like,
Okay, so I got a quick
that was
question.
definitely fun.
I got a quick question. So, does he actually have a motivation in this show? Because that's the reason why I gave up, like in season 2, because it felt like he wasn't doing anything else besides trying to just find Sylvie for like no reason otherwise than he just likes her.
So you find
it
it's
does
technically
stretch out more to
Can I
his
give
own
a
goals.
Can I give a spoiler warning?
Yeah,
before I
sure.
say this? So basically, how Loki season 2 ends is that he finds out that when he gets back to the moment of before Sylvie kills the He Who Remains. Basically, the whole thing was the He Who Remains. He basically knew it was going to happen. He was delaying time or stalling time for Loki to catch up with what he was able to do. And basically how it ends is that Loki was trying to basically stop the multiverse or time from destroying itself. So He Who Remains basically tells him, well, you can do it, but the problem is if you do, you're basically going to have to start from scratch. Like, you're not going to know anybody. It's just going to be you. So he has to go to the beginning of time, I think is what it was. If I'm missing something there.
I understand that, but why? Why would Loki, why would he do that? Like, does he actually accept that
because he
this
doesn't
could
wanna be
actually?
alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like, being alone forever was because of all the friendships that he's made, and the TVA, like, as his family to accept the fact, like, his ultimate goal to rule, to be a god, like, that, something that he's finally accepted his path on at the end. And he literally repeats the line from Thor 1 for that very reason. And his final words before he fell off the Rainbow Bridge, in accepting now of what a path that he's going to take.
So he was using the TVA to find another opportunity to rule over people.
It's more to save everyone. Like, he discovers that the path to rule is to save. Like, to make sure that everyone is safe at the sacrifice of him being in solitary alone. Like,
Okay.
Containing the universe, like the multiverse itself. Protect them all.
Well, okay, then I might give Loki a second chance then, because I don't know, like it just felt like to me it's like it just felt like to me like there was like an empty motivation like for the first 2 episodes. Maybe that finally just catches on like as.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of the time skipping and like stuff like that of like Loki's surface level obstructions at the time.
Quick. Give me like 2 quick minutes. I gotta go feed the cat, and I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll
Yeah,
be talking.
Next was Echo, which I'm surprised that like I and Christopher was the only one who has seen that one.
Yeah.
Because it is truly an amazing show. Like I was surprised that one thing with delays, it got brought down to 5 episodes. But it uses that time wisely for like its intense action, its emotional moments. Like I honestly feel tempted for them to bring the one-shots back just for these side characters that are just like really engaging and like both humorous and endearing as the plot progressed. And it really helped solidify like Aya, who already was like intriguing in Hawkeye, how they adapted her there to like being her own protagonist.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to watch Echo, because it's not like how they handled Echo herself in Hawkeye, but it's just how they handled Kingpin, because it kind of just seems like they dumbed him down a bit, and then she shoots him in the face off screen, and then I'm like, oh, he's gonna be the main antagonist for the show. I was like, well, how the fuck do you write yourself out of that corner?
I mean, they did it in the comic. It was literally that he was blinded, and then he faces the same fate as his nemesis.
Well, just because you have something dumb in the comics happen doesn't mean you go and repeat it unless it has like moral significance.
I mean, it did. It had a lot of thematic significance of Kingpin's, whole ironic pain and his rivalry with Daredevil.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
In this case, and they definitely conclude it in a massive way that leads into Born Again really well.
Yeah.
He is a powerful antagonist here, and definitely it helps of being in Marvel Spotlight with the TVMA rating, as well as, his relationship with Maya is very endearing as we get to fully explore that beyond one finale. Personally, Hawkeye was mainly to show off Kingpin's strength to Avengers-level characters. That was mainly the reason for that episode's appearance for him. Here, this is back to more Netflix-level strength and power and influence.
Are you sure? Because it didn't feel like he was an Avengers-level threat to me in Hawkeye.
I mean, he managed to, 10 arrows to the face. Goddamn. If anything, that shows that he's stronger than most of the aliens the Avengers have taken on.
I don't know. That to me just seemed. I didn't interpret it that way. I interpret it as the writers weren't paying attention.
I mean, I'd say it more is showing that they paid attention more to Spider-Man the animated series and stuff like that, where he's taken down superhuman threats and crushing his bare hands and that sort of thing.
Right.
In the Netflix shows, he was a normal human being, just a very intimidating, dude kind of human being. Here, it's more bloody mess Netflix Kingpin, and Like, there's one incredible scene midway through where, like, he makes a phone call. You don't know who it is him yet. He makes that call to one henchman who's got Maya and everyone hostage. And, like, once he makes it and immediately lets them all go, who made that call and who's the reason that they're not all dead. Instead of his threatening nature, and that was Wilson Fisk. That influence just on that is incredible. Like, it continues throughout, even when, like, he's introduced, in the flesh a little later. Like, it's an incredible sight. Daredevil also appears here, which, is incredible to have back as well, but it's more in...
Yeah, that was...
I heard he was in it
like in Spider-Man, but, like, still pretty cool.
I heard he was, like, only in the show for, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah, he is only shown up briefly, but, like, it shows that his...
Yeah, really like shows the mentality of what it'd be like as like a standard thug guy going up against Daredevil. It's pretty crazy. Pretty,
really that whole action sequence was, but it's like, a kind of simulation where like they switch between both the thugs and Maya, like that's the nice touch. You don't hear him when you go to Maya's perspective, and you go to the thug's perspective, and that's the only time that you hear Daredevil. Which is cool. It's like you're seeing it from the perspective of our main character, which really lends itself to perspective-based storytelling in a brand new way with representation of a deaf character. And like, I look forward to that and hope to see potentially more of that in Daredevil. Like, in that perspective, a little more.
Yeah, Daredevil Born Again.
Yes.
I don't know, that seems silly that they call it Born Again when they basically just
did.
Yeah, they did the storyline in season 3!
Born Again.
Born Again!
Born Again again!
He's a very complicated Catholic,
He's getting reborn every day.
I definitely enjoyed that series. Probably the most out of all of them for the past while, but
Okay.
Considering Hawkeye was my favorite Disney Plus show before then, it's a given.
Yeah, it's sort of like a continuation of that in a sense.
In some ways, they definitely set up having a spin-off there and catching you up to speed, even if you didn't watch Hawkeye. Which is clever because it makes you not have to be required to see projects.
I kind of wish I really wish some of the latest MCU like movies and TV shows would do that more. Like probably have like a soft recap before the movie starts. Be like, hey, in case you don't know what's going on, we'll catch you up to speed, and then now enjoy the show. Like I feel like that would be really appreciated for the audience that doesn't really know.
It's also something that like these this Disney Plus series called Marvel Legends was for, of like recapping.
But Kane,
but they didn't do that for Kingpin though, and I'm like, that's a missed opportunity because Marvel Entertainment.
Kane, if
Marvel
they did that,
released a Kingpin short like right after anyway, so like why didn't they release that on Legends?
If they did a recap for the movie, then how are you supposed to sign up for Disney Plus?
Yeah,
I mean, this is a short series on Disney Plus though, Hatter. Like,
no, I'm seeing what Kane is saying is that they should have a recap like for every like movie that's in theaters. Like say like here's like what you should know. But like if they did that, then it's like, well, there's no point in getting Disney Plus then, and they don't want that.
There's also something good in the Marvels that despite the fast pace, that they still caught you up on certain details of each character rather well.
Yeah, that was good.
So, like, I hope for more of that, both in the movies and the shows. Like, the Marvels and Echoes. Echoes certainly, like, has a good influence to go by in terms of recapping your previous content and then moving forward rather quickly for what you need.
Yeah.
Right. All right, well, that's enough of that. We've talked a good amount of the MCU, so let's go into another cinematic universe, being Sony. So
Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, the Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. So what do you guys...
Mom, do we have to talk about the Sony universe?
Yes, we're going to talk about the Sony universe.
We're going to do it. Too bad.
So,
coming out soon.
So first on our list, that's going to be Madam Web. Are you guys excited for this
Oh
movie?
yeah, #1 fan right here. I'm very.
I'm gonna skip.
I mean, I'm excited that like we are actually focusing on spider heroes for once.
At least there's that, yeah.
No, who would have thought like they actually own heroes in this universe instead of having to make
Guys, do you remember
anti-heroes?
Spider-Man? We got
These
some Spider-Man people.
psychopaths. I question why they're turning all the Spider Women into just one movie. Like, seriously, you could franchise those people. Like, come on.
That's true.
You know, you're kind of losing out on your profits by just putting them all in one movie at once. Like,
Right. I know. It's like
I
it
kind of
just seems,
question that. You could
I
easily
think
make
this
like
is
an Anya Corzon like Arana movie, or like or
so.
an
This is
Arachna movie. Or,
So this is my guess, is that, and it could be a little tinfoil hat here, but I'm pretty confident in it, is that
Maybe.
Sony saw that they were making, that the MCU was making the Marvels with like an all-female cast, right? And it's like, oh, well, we gotta catch up. We gotta make one too. So make them all
realizing that,
Spider-Women.
all those women like had separate projects beforehand. Like,
No. What
Put it
they're
all in
actually-
one movie
what they're-
now!
No, what they're doing is they saw the success of what Spider-Man No Way Home had with 3 Spider-Man, and
Yeah,
then Marvel
I
pointed
can
out
definitely
and
see
they
that
said,
was why they
let's
did it."
combine both these movies and let's make it into this.
Well, No Way Home was in their production. Like that one definitely was one that they were influenced by.
It's like, hey, that one worked, so let's go for it again. But this time we're doing an all-female cast, because why not?
because they're pretty big Spider Women characters, and they have teamed up in the comics a few times too. But I question just doing it right away.
Yeah, it's valid.
I'm
To be
intrigued on
honest-
one idea of like possibly, because Ezekiel Sims is one of the villains in it and is also a Silk character, that might be setting up the Amazon show called Silk. Like, both of these projects are connected in a way, which could be
I could see
interesting.
that, yeah.
Wait,
You want-
why
you
are
want-
these
you want-
why are these Spider-Women getting a movie but not Silk first? Like, it seems
Silk
like,
is
like
getting a
I've
TV
been,
show.
That's what I've been saying. I'm like, when is Silk gonna get something? Like, I want to see Silk.
Yeah, she was apparently delayed for the strike, but they also like purposefully delayed it just to catch up after Madam Web. So I think
Yeah.
it seems that they might be definitely connected.
Yeah.
some
probably
degree.
So, yeah.
Still kind of scummy that like they were hurting production just to get these two to tie in.
Wait, you think
Yeah.
that's scummy? How about making a whole bunch of Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man?
But yeah, that's scummy
what
too.
is
And then
So, like,
expecting
this is
people
like
to...
literally giving headaches to production teams for an entire TV show.
Like,
just for
did
your
like
own
did they
brand.
not learn from
God
did
damn.
they not learn from the public reaction from Morbius? Like, we literally told you
I
we're
guess
not watching Morbius because of one reason. Because Spider-Man is not fighting his villain. We're not watching a Spider-Man movie if it doesn't have Spider-Man in it. Like, when are they gonna learn?
well, I guess, I mean, except for
Well,
Venom,
that
people
movie
like
made
Venom
more
for some
billion
reason.
bucks, so
Well, that's because Venom looks like Spider-Man. That's why.
That's God damn it! That's the thing that pisses me off so much. It's like people
Well,
they
I
expect
know,
people
but
to
I'm
know
just
that
saying
Venom
that's
looks
the
like
truth.
Spider-Man, and that's why it was successful. I mean, that's not one of the reasons why.
I mean, Venom
it's,
is like pretty
Yeah.
popular compared to the rest of the properties they've been tackling. Like, who cares about Morbius?
I mean, yeah.
it's right, but it's not Venom.
Like compared
like the
to
Venom movies at least
all
have a good
Spider-Man's
dynamic
villains, he is
between
honest.
Eddie and Venom, and like they have something going at least, which is why that one's franchised and
I do-
Morbius has not so far.
I do find it
Yeah.
funny how the Venom from the Spider-Man 2 game that came out this year was actually a more accurate Venom than the one from the damn movies.
Which is more influenced by the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, but in terms of who it actually was under the tendrils, but it still was pretty accurate in terms of like the overall presentation against Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Which,
very cool.
it's a pretty cool arc, and definitely appreciated that game.
Oh,
Yeah, you're talking about Spider-Man 2, right? Sorry, I cut out
Spider-Man
for a
2,
minute.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2
yeah,
is a
Yeah,
video game.
the video game.
I thought that was an interesting route that they went with Venom, being that he was Harry Osborn. But the thing is, it's weird because like the motivation becomes later when he gets the suit back, is that they're gonna heal the world. So why would you call yourself Venom if you're trying to be a healer? It just seems
Yeah,
odd to
it's
me.
because
Like,
like,
in the
you
in the
earlier
cartoon.
see, like when you go through the tunnels to look after to go after the wizard, the vial that the symbiote was contained in was called VM.
I know that's dumb.
Yeah.
But like,
kind of like Bizarro in the New 52, where his aim is after his cloned initials of B0.
I'm real curious. Is there an actual moment in the comics where Venom does say why his name is Venom? Like, has he ever?
There always is, usually with a lot of versions of like, we are poison to Peter Parker.
I was just about to say that.
We're Venom.
Because he says that in the TV, he says that in the animated series, but in the comics, it said that Eddie Brock was like he had a very venomous review on like stuff that he was reporting, and then he kind of took the name Venom.
Being a reporter there on that one, but like,
but at least
generally they did it as a Venom against Spider-Man later thing.
Right, because that one makes like much more sense because he's like actually like
not all the animated versions were reporters.
Yeah. But still, like the indication of the name Venom is to be antagonistic towards Spider-Man. So like in the game when he says we are Venom, it's like, but you're trying to be good, just not in Spider-Man's way. So why would you?
Yeah. The whole point is that he wants Spider-Man to join him, actually, because the whole
I know that he wants Spider-Man to join him.
Earlier in the narrative, Miles took the suit from Peter, not Peter himself rejecting it, which is an interesting play on the dynamic. Instead, he hates Miles. The Venom is against him, not Peter Parker, who instead wants him to join our Venomness, and
I know, but
Miles and all his exaggerated swagger.
I understand that. I'm just saying, like the reasoning or like the way that they set up to have Harry be Venom and they choose the name Venom. It's like becoming a doctor and then saying like I want to go by the nickname Necromancer. It's like what? Why? Because it's sounds cool.
It's partially out of like against Miles and partially at the initial.
What's the one thing that bugged me about that game is that the game was really good in like the whole adapting the Venom storyline and whatever, like was really cool and visually it was awesome. But here's the thing that really bugged me about it. So he rejects the symbiote, like he pulls it off of him, like and blah blah blah, like we always see with every other story with Venom. But literally later in the game, as Venom becomes all powerful, what does Peter do? Oh, he gets the anti-Venom suit. What was the point of taking off the symbiote if you just get another symbiote? Like,
mechanics.
It's true too. Yeah, the mechanics.
Well, I mean, in the game,
so contradictory.
You don't reject gameplay mechanics, man.
Well, I mean, in the fucking Mr. Negative thing to where they create anti-venom, it's to basically destroy symbiotes.
It was mainly to stop the symbiote invasion.
I mean, I understood the reason why, but in the back of my mind, I was just like, you literally ditched the symbiote for another, what is the point? Like, make the logic make sense behind that.
Well,
that makes no sense.
It would suck mainly if they didn't include the Martin Lee bit of like him and Miles working through Peter's mind to help help the symbiote in the first place.
Mm-hmm,
if all that was gone, it would just be random as hell. Like Peter would be like, what the why do I randomly have the symbiote back?
I just got this thing off.
But because it progressed towards that, it worked in that respect and actually redeemed an aspect of Mr. Negative that was random in the comics. In terms of him just randomly making anti-venom.
Oh yeah, he just pats Eddie Brock's shoulder and then he's like just protruding white
out of his
anti-venom now. There you go, buddy.
I put my white goo all over you now, Eddie. Well, what the hell?
I do wonder, like, how funny would it be if like Mr. Negative was just like around like just touching random people by accident and maybe like it'll start like it activate the acting if they're a mutant or if like they're an inhuman, like that's what kickstarts their powers, but it has like reverse effects, so they're basically accidentally killing people without even noticing it.
I bumped into this guy named Martin Lee on the subway one day and
look at me now.
Now I'm like this.
And now I'm a giant frog man.
Breaks.
Alrighty, so we are getting close to time, so we're gonna go off with one more movie since, we'll go with the two other Sony movies since we're pretty much at the list. We'll go with Kraven the Hunter and Venom 3. Which ones are you guys more excited for?
Can I say neither one?
No. You have to be excited more for one of them.
I don't want to choose one because they're both probably gonna be bad.
Don't you know they're gonna have the Rhino again in Kraven the Hunter?
I love Kraven the Hunter. Like,
I didn't even
he's
know
an
that
amazing
until you
villain.
mentioned that.
But, like, you know, the game literally showed a far better version of Kraven than I ever got.
Yeah.
I played through the Kraven movie.
I actually joked. I'm not sure if it was in the Audio Anomaly server or not, but I saw Kraven the Hunter. I'm like, hey, that's a pretty cool trailer. So, where's Kraven?
Yeah.
Because he's okay, so this version he's gonna be like an anti-hero that hunts bad people, and he's got superpowers that are tied to talking to animals. So like a land version of Aquaman that's just more brutal.
Yeah, basically it's a hero. It's like a dumbed down version of Aquaman, but on land. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's also a real mistake to start with his dad's voice because like he sounded more like Kraven.
Yeah, right.
I know he's got the Russian accent, and then like Aaron Taylor
Kraven.
Johnson is just speaking with like normally.
I am Kraven the
Yeah,
Hunter.
it's so weird.
I'm Kraven the Hunter.
Everybody's speaking Russian. He's speaking Australian.
Actually, I think he's speaking like
Kraven
with a British
down under.
accent. I think it'd be funnier if he actually like speaking an Australian accent and it's like,
Yeah, that would be a fun movie.
yeah, I got bitten by a radioactive lion, so now I'm going around and hunting people with other animals. They're my friends.
Yeah, that immediately is comedy gold. Get this movie going.
Dude, I would, if he was Australian, I would morb all over the entire theater. Morb right in public.
But yeah, I'm preferring Venom because like at least it's more of that funny dynamic between.
Yeah, I
Eddie
feel like
and
Venom would probably be a little bit more enjoyable, even though it's probably gonna have its flaws. I feel like
Oh my God.
I'll at least still enjoy some aspects.
What the hell are they gonna do? Are they just gonna do another villain symbiote just in the form of Toxin, even though he's supposed to be a good guy? Because
I think
that's
so.
my
Yeah,
prediction. That's my prediction.
Probably.
It's already
Yeah,
a
they
prediction.
will.
Like we literally set this up. Like the guy from Blue Bloods was like old, and then the symbiote fell on him. And then,
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because like in the end of Let There Be Carnage, Detective Mulligan gets, I'm pretty sure, it's the Toxin symbiote. But the thing is if that's
I think
the
it will
case, you're just gonna have another symbiote main antagonist. It's just like you're just doing the same thing over and over again.
Maybe what they'll do is that they'll try to make Toxin as like he's trying to be a hero like Venom, but then what happens is that he probably does things a little bit differently. So then, that's why they fight,
they're gonna
because
rely on that whole like Peter Parker connection through the multiverse that they were like setting up at the end of the last Venom.
Oh fuck that! They're not gonna touch that again.
They-
There's
Like,
most,
what was the
like,
I'm
yeah, it might
I'm
be
so mad that
one-sided,
they
but
didn't
yeah.
do. I'm so mad that they did that. Like, they literally hinted that, oh, he's gonna be in No Way Home, and he was only in it as a freaking like cameo scene. I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me we could have had Tom Hardy's Venom fighting or at least interacting in the same scene with Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man? Like, that would have been cool, but no, they probably couldn't afford that because they probably wasted too much money with all the CGI and all the other stuff they put in the movie. Like,
actually, I
probably made things rather cluttered. Yeah.
I theorize that was just Marvel Studios' way to kind of just give the middle finger to Sony because Amy Pascal, she was a while back when she was with Kevin Feige doing an interview, she was saying, oh yeah, there's a chance that Venom could meet Spider-Man, and like Kevin Feige, if you look at him, he's like what?
Like,
Who
really?
said that?
We're not
And
doing
so
that.
like when they had, I'm pretty sure like Venom was like contractually obligated to be in No Way Home, and that was like Marvel Studios' way. It's like, oh look, he's in the movie. Well, now he's gone. Bye.
Yes.
But like when they had him to where he went back to his homeworld and then a piece of the symbiote was left behind, I was like, oh, that's not going to cause problems later on in the MCU. That's not going to be an issue.
Well, at least I think that's better than just Venom not knowing who Spider-Man is and they fight for no reason is better. I think just a piece of the symbiote so
The
it can
only
latch onto
reason-
Spider-Man to create Venom later. I think that's a better result.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Because it's entirely one-sided from the people who actually know what they're doing. So
right, because I don't understand how like people are going off and say, oh, how cool would it be if Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man fought? It's like I wouldn't feel anything because there's no chemistry there. There's like the whole reason why Venom exists is to be like the dark aspects of Spider-Man. He's fighting his darker self. But if they don't have that relationship, it's pointless. It's just another.
It'd be cool actually if like he gets this in Secret Wars for the first time in an adaptation ever. Like
I was actually
usually
when they
just
did
lands
No Way
in like
Home,
John Jameson's craft usually now.
when they did No Way Home, the one thing I was really excited about that they brought back for a villain was Jamie Foxx's Electro, because I really enjoyed him in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then when they brought him back, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't expect he'd be here, but sweet, this is great.
Now, that is actually one thing. I did finally check out the Morbius end credit scene, at least. Not the actual movie yet. And, like, an interesting thing, at least now that we have the Spider-Verse films, the animated ones, would instead be to take this whole anti-hero villain direction on its head of, there's still villains, but we're just seeing the adventures from their perspective of, instead, Spider-Man is the villain, but not one Spider-Man, all the Spider-Men. The whole point in Across the Spider-Verse was that Miguel is, like, imprisoning all these villains. What if we're seeing that from their perspective?
That would be really cool, but
being like chased by Miguel across the multiverse.
I think that would be really cool. Real quickly, I think that would be really cool. However, I don't believe that Sony is imaginative enough to actually comprehend a thought like that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like, they're not smart enough to think of something like that.
The guy who does the voice
Pretty
for
awesome.
Miles
It's probably not
in
happening.
the guy who does the voice for Miles in the animated movies, did they draw Miles based off of him, or is it different?
Yeah, not entirely.
Not quite.
Because I was like, what would be really cool is, like, say they get this third animated movie done, and whatever the story goes, how cool would it be if they managed to get, like, that guy who voices Miles to play Miles live action, like, in the MCU movies. Like, I think that actually would be kind of interesting.
I mean, I think they teased, like, that Secret Wars and, like, that multiversal stuff will eventually tie into the Spider-Verse, but we're not really sure how.
Yeah, we won't know until it comes out.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but yeah, that would be cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
Be awesome to see Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher in CGI live action state, uniting them all. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be weird, considering that we've already seen three other Watchers that look nothing like Jeffrey Wright. But whatever, I only pay attention to the movies and the TV show.
Yeah, but they could probably come up with a creative design to make his very particular, but still look like the Watchers we saw in Guardians Volume 2.
I'm sure. I'm sure that they could, if they hired competent writers to do that.
That's more of an FX thing, but yeah.
But anyway, we've already gone over time. If I allowed it, I'm pretty sure these guys could go on all day about movies and comics and whatnot. But we are going to have to say... Yep, yeah. But we are going to have to cut it for now. But thank you guys very much for listening. Crap, I forgot to do introductions. But that's okay. We do that most of the time anyway.
You already know who we are. You don't need to IMBD us.
Yeah, because we're not going to be there.
IMBD.
But
actually, I am, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead and brag about it. But anyway, I've been your host, the Funny Hatter. With me today has been Christopher, the Z-Man, Victor, the X-Man, and Kane, the Lizard King. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll be having 9 more episodes after this. The next one, you'll definitely want to listen, because we're going to have another game show all about Spider-Man. So if you're a big Spider-Man fan, you would definitely...
Something to do with Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be your guys... That's going to be your guys' homework assignment.
Spider-Man.
that's going to be your the listener. That's going to be your homework assignment. I want you to find as many Spider-Man pictures as possible. And if you join the Discord server, like once you get in it, immediately post all the Spider-Man pictures that you have.
All right, here we go.
Yep, it's going to be a big challenge.
Spider-Man.
Alrighty, now with that said, I've been your host. Thank you very much again for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you have heard, don't your children listen to this, and we'll see you next time. So bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Black girl magic!